Hey everybody, welcome
Hello.
back to Pixel Junkies. An F1 video on a Friday? What's on to go with that? Well, you can thank Andrew for recording the special that was supposed to come out this week with a potato. So we're playing F1 instead.
They were planning on doing an experiment to see how well it went with a potato, and apparently it didn't go very well.
Yeah, it's budget cuts here at Pixel Junkies, so we're gonna have to find another solution. We're in Germany this week for round 10 at the Hockenheim ring. What's that?
For potatoes, but we're able to go to Germany, right?
Yeah, well that's why we had budget cuts. 16 turns here, and the rest will be 34 laps. Yeah, it doesn't seem like 16, is it?
No, it seems like 5.
Yeah, well they count weird sort of S curves as 2 corners.
Alright.
Yeah, another wet race weekend here.
We're still waiting for a dry race.
Yep. Unfortunately, it was a wet weekend because this track is awesome, an awesome fast track. I guess you could say that about just about every F1 circuit. But
yeah, didn't we have that one practice session where me and you were pretty much neck and neck the entire thing?
Yeah, so after the sort of fallout in Silverstone, Dave came here with a vengeance to try and redeem himself from sort of falling back in Britain. And so the first practice session that we had, Dave was very aggressive. And that session was sort of held off by a number of weeks where we didn't play this game, and then we came back to it.
Yeah, we still have another race to do. We haven't got to that yet.
Another...
where is the next race at?
The race after this one is in Hungary. So.
All right.
Yep, so these are the standings, as you can see, going into this race after Silverstone, which is a fast track, and I'm glad we got to get a dry weekend out of that, so that was okay. So we're moving on to the race session, and the race strategy, of course, is wet, so there's not much in the way of pitch strategy. And I will say before we do get to the race that this is probably the fastest time this video has gone from not being edited to coming out. And so hilarious. So I've been under a lot of stress and work and trying to get this video out on time. So you're welcome. If there are any flaws in this video, you can keep your fucking mouth shut. And I'm talking to you, Dave, because the video will be fixed for when it comes out. Because we watched the video, and then, anyway, yeah. Race is about to begin. Here we go.
Alright, come on. Here goes the tree. 3, 2, 1.
Lights out in Germany. Alright, away we go.
And
Dave, again on second. Looking down the inside of the corner, which in the wet could be a better line. Taking a little narrow through there. A little kiss of the wheel. And, not really capitalizing on the entry to that corner. Who do you got behind you there, Vettel?
Yes.
On board with me now, who I should say, I designed myself a new helmet for this weekend.
Alright, that I can't see from my game.
Yep, so Dave sees a blue and white helmet because that's the helmet I replaced. And on my game, I have a Germany. Team radio already. Okay, so he's just telling us there that the race is wet. No kidding. But the important bit there would be that...
Not like you all didn't notice that.
Yeah, it's wet out. Who knew?
Oh, by the way, it's raining. I don't know where you've been all day, but yeah, it's kind of wet on the track, so take it easy out.
The important bit there is that we don't need to use both compounds or 2 different compounds. So because it was wet, we can just use whatever race strategy we feel comfortable with. And yeah, Dave on standard revs here, or standard mixture, which you can usually get away with a leaner mixture in the wet because it sort of cuts down on your wheel spin. Yeah, so you can just see the top of my helmet there. It has I have the Nürburgring on the top of it for a number of reasons. The first of which was there's no German Grand Prix this year, 2015. So I sort of made a helmet to sort of memorialize, the loss of the German Grand Prix, of course, with the Nürburgring, because that was the sort of, first German Grand Prix circuit. And, I don't know, I just like Germany, so.
Oh, yeah.
I made a gold helmet.
Hockenheim is this great track as well as Nordschleife.
Nordschleife, yep. which they of course don't race on in F1 cars anymore, but they do race in Nürburgring, which has a the longer version of that track has a F1 circuit sort of attached to it. And that was Dave there switching to lean mixture. And you can see up in the corner, I never noticed that in editing, but you have your broadcast on Steam turned on.
Oh, yeah, I do, don't I?
You're giving people like a peek at the race here. This could have been leaked. This is all over Reddit. This is all over Tumblr.
Speaking of leaks, actually, did you hear about the leaks of Game of Thrones? The
leak of Game of Thrones?
Yes.
Does it have to do with plot?
No, the first 5 episodes.
Just tread lightly here.
I did not watch them. Only watched the first episode.
The first 5 episodes are out. Is that what you're... Oh, contact with Alonso there.
You can go online and download the first 5 episodes, apparently.
Oh.
Yeah. I didn't watch them, but...
interesting.
Yeah.
I'm going to wait until they come out.
Yeah, me too. But I just found it interesting, because when I first go to download the show to go watch it, the first torrent I downloaded... I didn't say torrent. Ignore that. The first video I downloaded said episodes 1 through 5. And I was going,
And you realized it was like a massive Trojan that just completely demolished your hard drive?
Yeah, I'm speaking to you now from my mom's computer.
Yeah.
No. But I was just like, yeah, this doesn't seem right, so I deleted that.
Drive her computer all the way over to your house?
Yeah, from an hour and a half away.
Yeah.
So, yeah. That's that. That's my news of the week.
Yeah, so Game of Thrones leaked, apparently, according to Dave.
Yeah. I don't know if it's still out there, but when it came out Sunday, it was available.
Yeah, so this is, for all intents and purposes, being recorded on Thursday. This is coming out tomorrow on Friday, because it is Thursday now where I am.
It ain't Thursday.
Not where you are, Arnold.
It's still Wednesday.
Yep, so...
thanks,
Andrew, for fucking up your audio.
What?
I'm just thanking Andrew for his solid job on recording out. He's probably not even gonna watch this, so it don't matter.
They don't give a shit about F1.
No, but it gives us that sort of small window between when we edit stuff and when it comes out. It sort of like erases that, you know, how dated the video is. It literally is yesterday. So yeah. Putting this together. Like I said, if there's any flaws, if there's some weird things that I missed, then, you know, get over it. And that's why this is coming out on Friday.
It's a Friday. Nobody gives a shit on Friday.
The F1 videos will go back to Thursdays. Granted, we don't have any more problems with our regular schedule. But I knew F1 videos would come in handy for something, so here it is. Dave running about a half second behind, I believe. You're 4/10 down.
Yeah, I'm right behind you.
Coming through...
setting a good pace.
Okay, no, 8/10 there.
You're even better pace.
Solid, better pace there. Now let's go to this. So according to... There's a number of conflicting things here. I'm looking at maps of Hockenheim, which is the track we are at. Some of them are saying 16 turns. Some of them are saying 17 turns. So, yeah. Ow. Whatever.
Jesus.
So they're adding an extra turn in where? 14. Okay. Yeah, it's okay. So we're coming up the back of the circuit here now, which is turn 11. Into one of the original parts of the circuit, actually. Now, long time, you know, motorsport fans will know that Hockenheim's been around for a very long time. But it has gone through a number of changes in recent years. I think it was in the 90s, or late 90s actually, might have even been in 2000s, where it was changed. This is all the original part of the circuit. This is the original straight, coming down into turn 1 now. A corner that is pretty easy to miss, and then this is the
part of the original track. Doesn't this just go straight off?
Yeah, on the old one it just goes straight there instead of turning. And they changed it to get more spectators to be able to see the entire track, because, as you can see, there were woods straight ahead there. Well, that's what it used to be. It would just disappear into woods, and then there were a couple of little
some
chicanes
cars
to
go
slow
off
the
the
car
woods
down.
and never come back.
Yeah, I think Jim Clark was actually killed here, I think.
No, that's not what I meant.
Oh, yeah. Well, there you go. And down past the hairpin, through the parabolic, coming up to turn 7, the the Grand Mercedes grandstand.
Wonder how much one of them seats cost.
Well, it costs nothing now because they're not having one.
It's probably like at the time, like, oh, if you have a Mercedes-Benz, you can trade it in and get a seat here.
I didn't understand why they're not having a German Grand Prix this year, because
It's neither in the Nürburgring or Hockenheim?
no, they're not having one at all.
Really?
Nope.
Is there a new track they're going to instead or something?
Nope, they're just not having a German Grand Prix.
So there's one less race this year.
Yep.
Huh.
Instead of 20, there was tentatively when the season began it was going to be 20, but now it's 19 because they're not having the German Grand Prix.
I guess that's some kind of weird effect of Marussia and...
No, I think it was just Bernie Eccleston, the guy in charge of F1. He owns it effectively. They couldn't reach an agreement with the German race directors.
Really?
So I guess it was a factor of money. I don't know.
Germans want their money.
But again, I mean, I don't know why they wouldn't have spent the extra money. I can see it as an attraction. I think it was because they didn't want to spend the money that they were asking because attendance has been dropping in recent years, and I guess they felt like they weren't going to make their money back. Breaking a little deep there into the hairpin. Dave cutting narrow, getting closer to me. But again, you have Sebastian Vettel. He's racing for Ferrari now. A very strong team. Nico Rosberg is German in a German car. The German car is, pretty much winning every race. If not coming very close to the top. So it's really odd to see that, Germans not finding F1 as popular, as it used to be, especially even 10 years ago. So through the old section now, through it's called the Sachs corner, which ironically looks like a penis. So
yeah, we can just gloss over that.
Glossy penis.
In the bog pit.
Yeah, gross. Dave's still right up my anus on this. And of course, the wet weather, it really makes it, and this isn't really a particularly great example, but it's really difficult when you're close behind somebody to see anything. You'll see later on in the race a couple, how invisible the car in front of you gets when you're close behind. Even just like passing traffic, it's like very, very difficult to get through. So this video was supposed to come out next week after the Bahrain Grand Prix, but weren't really able to do that because the whole potato thing. So we're sort of in between the back-to-back races with the Chinese Grand Prix last weekend and then the Bahrain Grand Prix next weekend. So usually they have like a couple of weeks in between where they, they'll have every other week is basically a Grand Prix, but sometimes there's, a
space,
a holiday
races.
Or something occurs on a weekend that they're supposed to have a race, so they take 3 weeks off.
They just take a vacation, so to say, give the racers a break or something.
Well, I guess. I guess, I give them, usually they get another week off, but I think it was because Easter was supposed to be on a race weekend, so they took 3 weeks off instead of 2. So now they're having 2 back-to-back races to sort of make up for it, I guess. So they had Chinese Grand Prix was last weekend, which was, I'm not going to say because Dave hasn't seen it yet.
Nope. Not yet.
So I don't really want to spoil anything. There has been some controversy, though, that I'll be what the fuck are you doing over there?
I'm fucking dropping shit.
Yeah, stop dropping shit. There has been some controversy over, I guess, sort of an incident, even though it really wasn't an incident, during the race, which doesn't really spoil anything, so I can talk about it.
Yeah, go for it.
But,
so you don't tell me who wins, I don't care.
yeah, like, during the stints of their tires, basically, long story short, Nico Rosberg felt like Hamilton was holding him up at a certain point in the race, and
was Hamilton at first at that point?
I will say that Hamilton was ahead of Rosberg.
Okay, well, yeah, that's good enough.
because yeah, he was holding. Nico felt like he was holding him up because somebody was behind him, and he felt like he was going to lose position if he could not get ahead or maintain a gap to Lewis. But because of the heat and the wear of the tires, Nico felt that he couldn't pass Lewis at that point in the race because it would have destroyed his tires and he wouldn't have been able to go as far on the stint as he was planning on. So he wanted to maintain a gap to Lewis so he could stay out of his dirty air, but also far enough ahead of the car in front of him that he could, not risk getting overtaken. And anyway, there's a whole thing that blew up over that. And Nico in the post-race press conference, Nico was very, very pissed off at Lewis for that particular incident.
Well, the way I'm understanding this is it's more of Nico's fault, because if he couldn't feel like he could have passed him, then what's the point of arguing about it?
Well, yeah, it really all comes down to real close there. It was any later on turn in, that would have been a rear end. But it really all comes down to their strategy, and I guess a lot of the people involved with it get sort of caught up in the strategy itself rather than the fact that you're in a car racing 21 other cars. Like, fucking figure it out. Go quick. If you can't pass the car ahead of you, you're not winning. That's sort of, that's just how it is. But more modern F1 is all about strategy. It's not necessarily who can drive the fastest. It's whose strategy worked out in the end. Was a two-stop the best idea? Was a one-stop the best idea? I'm driving quick in modern F1 cars doesn't necessarily mean you're going to win. It's just
no.
If you can eke out more laps on a one-stop strategy just because you're driving slower, looking after the tires, in the end that might get you ahead of somebody who's doing a two-stop and driving faster because they're wearing the tires quicker. Because you have about a 20 to 25 second window for pit stop. So you can see the gap now. 1 second. If I was on a two-stop strategy in this race, which I think this is just a one-stop strategy race, isn't it?
It was.
No, I think it is a two-stop.
I think we ended up taking stupid pit stops or something.
So if Dave could drive slower and look after the tires here, a one-stop might be feasible. Now, not necessarily on this track, but if he could stay within a 20-second window, by the end of the race, he would be ahead of me because I would, I'd have to do a 20-second pit stop. So it really all boils down to strategy. And I guess Nico was sort of caught up in the whole idea of he's fooling up my strategy. I need to get ahead of him in order to, maintain or stay on. Okay, Dave coming right up the outside of the track.
A little wide there.
Through the Mercedes corner, turn 8.
Didn't manage to make that work.
Into turn 9 and turn 10. There's 2 turns there. You didn't see it, but yep, that's what they say. 2 turns. Mold 1 corner up through the penis. Anyway, so I guess Nico was just too caught up in the strategy and couldn't take the blame. His the pit boss later on, after they had a debrief, basically said Nico was stupid. It was nobody's fault. So
he had his own.
Yeah. And there was another incident after the race. I guess I can't really say who it is, but there's an incident on the podium, although you may have seen this in your timeline. Have you seen any post-race?
No.
Okay. There's somebody on the podium who sprayed one of the grid girls with champagne and got in a lot of heat over it. Apparently, like, I've seen...
Well, was she like a recovering alcoholic or something?
No, it's so stupid. It's just like right down feminists, and not to shit on feminism, because, I understand it and respect it, but there are a lot of really stupid people on this planet, and people are so fucking sensitive now that the worst thing that I've ever seen in an F1 post race thing was when Sebastian Vettel's really bad for it because he swears on the podium all the time, and it's on live TV, so they can't bleep it, and he talks about getting wasted. He said during the Malaysian Grand Prix that he's going to get pissed on Sky Sports or BBC, and Eddie Jordan was shitting his pants over it. You can't say that on our network. It's all right, well, you had Jeremy Clarkson out for 21 years, so shut the fuck up. But anyway.
Oh. Too soon, bit.
Is it? Is it really?
Nah, it was coming.
Yeah, so he sprayed after the Monaco Grand Prix in 2011, 2010. It might have been 2012 is what I meant to say. He sprayed one of they have the Monaco guards there, like the guys that for the royal family of Monaco or whatever. They have these dudes that like those guys that you see in Britain that just stand and don't move. They're not allowed to blink. They're not allowed to do anything. You know those guys. Well, they have those in Monaco as well. They have like different uniforms and shit, but they're not allowed to move, and they protect the princess or the whoever of Monaco, Monte Carlo. So Sebastian Vettel, because they have the Dave really tapping the back there.
Getting a little aggressive there.
Yeah, a little love tap. Get a move on. They have the award ceremony in the street because Monaco, it's in the middle of the city.
Street
There's
track.
not really anywhere for them to go. So Sebastian Vettel sprays one of these guys in the face with champagne. Dude's not allowed to move, not allowed to blink, not allowed to do anything. So he's just standing there getting welted in the face with champagne. And that's sort of a dick move. It's like, this is a royal family, You
don't treat royal families like that.
Well, yeah, it's just, I'm amazed that, based on the controversy this thing is getting, that should have fucking exploded. But anyway, so-and-so sprays a random Chinese grid girl in the face with champagne, and everyone blows up over it for sexism. Because there's a shot of the dude holding the champagne bottle, spraying her in the face. If you've got a twisted mind or you're gonna blend, whatever, it might look like semen blasting her in the face or whatever. A lot of people have photoshopped it to say like Brazzers or there's like a censored bar or whatever over the champagne bottle, and you just see the shit hitting her face. So it's like, I understand, like, you have all these guys, you win a race, you win a Grand Prix, they spray everything with champagne. They spray the audience, they spray the car, they spray each other, they spray the dudes in business suits.
Whatever the fuck they feel like they
yeah, exactly.
it.
You're celebrating. You just spray champagne at stuff. It's not like this is a sexual thing. It looks like I'm spraying you with semen. Like, it's so fucking stupid. They're all dudes spraying spraying champagne at each other on the podium. That's like 99% of the time. And then they run over
it's
and
customary.
Like a celebratory motion.
Champagne to celebrate.
Yeah, and they spray this one girl in the face. Everyone's like, "Well, you can't do that. You need to publicly apologize to this girl." Like, for fuck's sakes, just fuck off and do something else with your life.
That is the
do
world
something
today.
important. Oh my god.
That is the world today.
People are too sensitive.
That's, folks, that is the world we live in today. Just so you all know.
They didn't know. That's why they're watching this.
The few that watch it will know that's how this world.
Anyway, so I mean, probably be talking about the race here, and Dave is very close to the back of me, looking for a window, looking for a gap.
14 laps now.
Yeah.
Kept it pretty close the entire time. Vettel's still on my ass. He's trying to look for a way to get by.
Technically, it was only 13 laps. Now we're on lap 14.
You know what I meant.
No, I had to correct you. You're wrong.
Yeah, whatever.
You're wrong.
Whatever. It's 14 laps. There's 14 in the corner right there,
it's
right
like
now.
14.2 laps now.
No, it says 14. I said 14. It's 14 laps.
Yeah, but you start on lap 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
no,
when you finish one lap, it goes to 2. Oh, Dave's switching back up to standard now.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking with that.
Gap up to 1.2 seconds.
Still fairly
I
wet.
started pulling away a teensy bit. I don't know if Dave made a mistake there. I wasn't paying attention. Sorry, everybody. I have failed you. And Dave looking again to switch back down to lean, so...
Nope.
I don't know what happened there.
I thought the center might have changed anything, but I don't think...
Well, I guess you wanted to catch back up, and it seems like you have done. I don't know if it was a mistake on my part there.
I think that was more to me about breaking you at that turn, as I pretty much always do.
Possibly. Anyway, I'd like to outline that this helmet that I'm wearing now is not a permanent helmet. It's just to commemorate this particular race. At the next event, I will have my brand new helmet that I have made for most events. Every now and then I'll have a special helmet. Although in 2015, in the real F1, not in the game, they have outlawed or banned helmet changes. So
Sweet.
The helmet that you start the season with is the helmet that you need to use for every single race, or at least that design. Yeah, it's a little weird. I think they did it in lieu of Sebastian Vettel, who literally had a different helmet every fucking race for like 3 years.
What's the problem with that, though?
Well, people could never identify.
So?
Him.
There's only one other car that's like yours. And it says your name on the goddamn car.
Yeah, but remember like 2012 when Lewis Hamilton and Nico Rosberg both had yellow helmets. I was like, alright, well, who the fuck is Lewis? I don't know who Lewis.
Well, it still says your name on the car.
Yeah, but this is
like
not
it
for
does every
hardcore.
race car.
Oh yeah, and you can see that when they're driving by, can you?
Yeah.
It's for people who. Okay, we have an update here, yeah.
Well, what they should have done then, they shouldn't have banned changing helmets. They should have just made it to where you can't have the same color helmet as your teammates.
Yeah, Dave was talking there. He just said improvement in the weather in 15 minutes, which may come too late. But we will see as the race progresses. Yeah, well, I think it's really just for people who are not really familiar with F1, because if both teammates are always changing their helmets, you don't know who's who. It's like he had a yellow helmet last race, now he has a green one. The other guy has a black one, now he has a white one. It's like, well, how do I know it's not the white helmet guy? Like, I don't follow their Instagram. I don't know what their friggin' helmets look like. You know, it's like, especially if you're watching it on TV, you can hear the commenter saying like, oh, so and so, Lewis Hamilton or whatever. But if you're there at the race, you don't know anything. It's you. Like, there's an announcer guy, but when the cars are going around, you can't fucking hear him. So every like 30 seconds when all the cars are gone by, you hear the guy like, oh, this guy's moving about. It'll probably be easier now, actually, because they're all V6 with the deeper exhaust. When I was there when I was in Montreal in 2011, you couldn't fucking hear a thing. Anyway, could have been a better race last weekend, Chinese Grand Prix. I'm hoping the next one is going to sort of be in the spiritual successor to last year's Bahrain Grand Prix, which was probably the most entertaining Grand Prix I've seen in a long time.
Which one?
The Bahrain Grand Prix last year.
Yeah.
The colossal battle between Lewis Hamilton and Nico Rosberg that pretty much culminated in a season-long all-out war for the Drivers' Championship.
Yeah. It's quite entertaining to watch these guys fight.
Yeah, Nico's a fucking sook though, man. Like, just take a punch already, Jesus. Like, in the press conference, he's like so sooky. He's just like not looking at anything, not looking at anybody.
Because he wants to win.
Like, every now and then he'll like just sigh or shake his head, and he just got like these. And I don't know what the fuck is wrong with him. He's on drugs or something. Every weekend.
He's on drugs.
Every Friday morning, every Saturday morning, he's got a bloodshot left eye. The inside.
He's taking crack, man.
I don't know if it's like he's up late or if he's just.
When you have money, no. That's how it goes. When you don't have money, you smoke weed. When you have money, you do crack and cocaine and all that stupid ass bullshit crap that gives you that stupid shit.
Is that a thing? Like, you're an athlete, you can't really do that. You probably do drug tests every other week.
Who says you can't do that?
The drug tests that get you banned from the sport.
Really? Now, how often do they do that?
I don't know. He flies a lot, so he probably gets tested every other week. I don't know, man. If you're an F1 and you go to as many different countries as these guys do, you get checked every weekend.
Yeah, every weekend, not every weekend.
Not a drug test, but a friggin' flight check. You got to get your bags checked, all your shit is checked.
Who says they're taking it with them?
Where are you getting it?
Well, they probably know people.
They have dealers in every place they go.
They go there every year. Yeah, they go there every year. And what else do you think they're doing when they're waiting for the race to start?
Maybe they just got one guy and they send him ahead. So it's like he just like smuggles into the country and then they meet up when they get into it.
There's just one guy that always goes with him.
Yeah. So I'm diving into the pits now with my sweet ass helmet almost at the wall there on the inside. Looking bird.
But I'm sure they do some kind of crack or cocaine or shrooms or something.
No, man. I don't think of that.
You know how people are with money. The more money you got, the more stupid shit you do.
Is that really how you perceive the world?
Yes.
I guess I look too highly upon our reality then.
Yeah, people in this world are fucking garbage. You know this.
Yeah, there are a lot of shitty people, no doubt, but
I'm not saying everybody who has money is like this, but I'm just saying the majority of people who have money always fuck their lives up by doing shit like that.
yeah.
It's stupid.
I'm pretty sure Nico just sleeps. He's just a night owl. He sleeps in every weekend,
Yeah.
and he just fucks his eye up solid from staying up late, I guess.
But yes, for all the hardcore F1 fanatics out there, I'm not saying he does drugs.
No,
I'm
you're gonna
just
get,
saying,
you're
yeah.
gonna get canned here. You're gonna get fucking.
Yeah, I'm gonna get
Be
booted
all
off
over the
PixelJunkies
news.
now. My
This is gonna be
manager
like
here.
cunt tinted glasses.
This is gonna be like another Jeremy Clarkson thing.
What was it? What? Rose cunted glasses. That was what he said. Fucking idiot.
What? Rose content
Yeah.
What?
The same week that Jeremy got canned from Top Gear, there's a dude on BBC Radio. They were talking about something, blah blah blah, and then he meant to say like it's like looking at the world through rose tinted glasses or some particular thing. Dave into the pits now as well. 2 cars in
One
behind
lap later.
him. But anyway, he ended up saying rose cunted glasses. And he tried to like sort of play it off, and then he said, you know, my apologies, whatever. I forget the guy's name, but everyone immediately forgot about it because Jeremy was, you know, punching people at the same time. So I got
Over food.
so Dave coming out of the pits there. I go with Ricardo and Hulkenberg. Actually, that must be Vettel because Ricardo is still behind you. Through lap 19 now. And you got Hulkenberg there, and I'm 2 cars ahead, just going through turn 57 or whatever they call it on this. Turn 4. Down through turn 5, the Parabolica, which used to have a lot of trees next to it. I believe this is where Jim Clark actually went off into the woods. Down through this section here, for anyone wondering. But of course, that was back in the 1960s, I believe, or maybe in the late 50s, when they had incredibly unsafe cars that were way too powerful, had no driving aids whatsoever, and very little grip on their narrow tires. So, how's your audio doing? Is it still working?
Maybe.
Alright. I do not want to do this again.
Neither do I. I don't have time to do it again.
You know what?
I don't have time to do it again.
Yeah, well, you know, you better not fuck it up, because we don't have time to do this tomorrow. It's coming out tomorrow.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No,
So-
it can't come out tomorrow.
What do you mean it
What are you
can't?
talking about? I don't know.
Alright.
There is no tomorrow.
Is that a Bond movie?
Did you see the new Bond car?
Have I seen the new Bond car? Have you seen the new Bond trailer?
Yes.
Alright, well then there you go, yes.
Okay.
They didn't
So
have
what do
the
you think?
Jag in the trailer. I don't know,
Yeah.
it's not... I like Assens, but that one, it just looks like a concept car that they shouldn't have made. And I'm
They
pretty
shouldn't
sure
have
that's what
made,
it was.
But they made, but it's not going to be made.
Well, they made like 10 or something, right? And they probably made like 20 for the movie because they're going to break half of them.
Yeah, half of them being just Honda Civic bodies.
Yeah, they're not going to do that. James Bond has never done that.
Oh, really? No? Okay.
Well, they're not going to use stand-in cars. They wrecked like 17 DBSs filming Quantum of Solace.
But see, I guess, but they make those cars specifically for that movie, don't they?
Yeah, but it's still
is it-
the car.
Yeah.
You can still
But-
get in the car and drive off in it, and it's an Aston Martin. It's not a fucking plastic tub with a fucking little 9-volt battery motor in it with a hydraulic
Like
pipe
Fast
to
and Furious?
shoot it off into the wall. Yeah, basically, yes. Although, I will give the most recent movie credit. Oh, Dave getting ahead of Vettel here now. Oh, jostling down through, was this 11, 12, I think? Or no, this is 13,
They're in the
14,
track.
and 15. And, yep, just getting ahead.
Alright, now what were you saying?
Now I'm just up the road. We're still in P4 and P5, though. So, I guess a couple of cars ahead have not had their pits yet. But yeah, I will give the most recent movie credit in that most of the stunts in that movie were actually done.
Yeah, and most of the cars, I believe, that they actually used were the actual cars. Surprisingly.
Yeah, I saw
They ruined a lot of cars with that movie.
Through all the promotional things that movie has released, all the trailers, all the, you know, like...
Cough, Dodge, cough.
Well, yeah, fuck the whole Dodge Chrysler side of it, but even, you know, all the Paul Walker things...
I give them credit. They paid pretty good tribute to Paul Walker, so...
Yeah, and I mean, for a lot of people, that's the reason they went to go see the movie, and it's sort of... I mean, it's not... I guess it's sort of a sin to say, I don't know. But
it's not also very often where a car manufacturer pays tribute to a celebrity, so to say.
Did the car manufacturer pay tribute to him?
The song, pretty much, that they were playing at the end of the movie. There was a whole music video, and Dodge is all over it, and it was sponsored by Dodge and Chrysler.
What a dick move, man.
What?
Oh yeah, let's have product placement in this tribute video to Paul Walker.
It is a dick move.
Who died in a Porsche, by the way, and drove off in a Toyota, so good job.
Yeah, I mean...
Anyway, through all the trailers, promotional, whatever, all of Vin Diesel's posts and the tragedy of Paul Walker and having to CG his face and all that, the one thing that made me go see that movie was the behind the scenes of all the stunts being done. I was like, oh, they're actually... These stunts are, like, legit. They're actually doing them with the cars cool. in the streets of the cities. It's not all CG, fake cars, electric bullshit. The biggest turnoff for those movies is when they drive the cars at like 2 miles an hour and then speed the footage up. Because, like, yeah, the car...
Oh, yeah, like when he was driving to the cemetery with the plumbus or whatever, and he was hauling dicks, and then when he gets to the end, it slows it back down.
Yeah, it's just like... And it's in the trailer. It's just like... They turn way too quick. It's like when they're driving slow that they can weave a little bit, and it's like, oh, you should weave the car to make it look like, you know, it's unstable. Blah, blah, blah. So that they do that, and then they fucking... They speed up the footage, so you see the car, like, you know, super grippy on the road, doing like 1,000 miles an hour, and it doesn't start to... It doesn't slide or lose grip or traction or anything. It just looks so unrealistic. And it's a massive turnoff. It's like, when I first decided to watch Fast 6 or Fury 6 or whatever the fuck it's called.
I don't know what that one's called.
The first scene in the movie is a Challenger and a Nissan GTR. Oh, Dave, right up my anus. Yeah, those two cars hauling ass around a coastal road in the Canary Islands apparently, or Cayman Islands, where the fuck it is. And it's just so unrealistic. Like, you can tell they were driving at like 20 miles an hour and then just sped the footage up, because the Challenger of all cars is not grippy enough to do the shit that it does in that video. Oh, Dave, right up the inside there. Looking for a gap that is not existent.
I was trying to make it exist.
Coming down the Parabolica here. Dave getting a scent of victory or something. Oh, dip it down the inside of the corner. And Dave pushing me out off the track.
Closed it up.
Yeah, you were just slow enough on the throttle there to close out an undercut. I was going to cut back, but just didn't have the space. And anyway, yeah, so I didn't watch that. Oh, Dave running wide. And
what was that?
Immediately lost that position within 2 corners. Gained first and then immediately threw it away. Now you got Hulkenberg sniffing up your anus. Looking down the
inside. He likes the smell of my anus.
Right down the underside of the penis here.
He likes the smell of my anus.
Alright, we got a replay of that apparently. So this is Dave coming down the inside of turn 4. Right on the grass and giving me a nudge there. Could have resulted in a spin, but did not.
Well, I gave it back to you.
Yeah. Not by your undermerit. But you did pass under fair conditions, so.
Yes.
Cars in again for another stop, so I guess those were the cars that pit originally. I guess this is a one-stop race. Now you can see Dave right up my back there. And with that amount of spray, you just can't see anything. And the braking points that you figure out in the dry, which of course qualifying for this race was dry. Dave coming down the inside now of the Parabolica.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to figure out stopping points or braking points in the dry than it is the wet.
Oh, absolutely. Especially when you have a car ahead of you, it sort of changes the whole braking entirely. And I broke late there, so I could cut back through Dave this time. And of course, getting the run on him through the hairpin. And just inching away there up to this fast right-hander now. Oh, Dave taking real deep through there, and I Glancing at my mirrors, seeing Dave somehow go around that corner at Mach speed, ran a little wide, and gave up
I had the turbo
corner.
boost initiated, babe.
Yeah, and I had to cut to my screen there so you could see me run wide, but upon reviewing Dave's footage, he lucked into sort of drifting around the corner. I think your front left-hand wheel clicked over
I
the
somehow managed
curb.
to lose just enough traction, be able to slide around that corner and make it.
Yeah, and
just fine.
We're just able to accelerate right at the right moment, and it all worked out for you somehow. Not something you want to play with your traction in the wet, because
no,
it's once it starts going, it's pretty easy to lose you.
Unless you get the very rare circumstance like I just did.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, not to get into the movie again, but they definitely did pay tribute to Paul.
Yeah,
very good. Very well. I was just sort of expecting like in memory of Paul Walker at the end, and it would have been like okay, but they actually sort of did a whole thing, and it was actually pretty touching.
Yeah.
So
it's unfortunate about what happened, but hey.
Yeah, and we're gonna talk about this on the podcast, which will be next week on Monday. But I'll just touch on it real briefly. The saddest thing about that whole movie, and I mean you sort of know where it's going to end up because you know Paul dies, and you're sort of just, for me it was a little difficult because I sort of felt like, okay, when is it going to happen? Like you're sort of cringing the moment or regretting the moment that something's going to happen, and but the saddest thing for me was like the CG face. Because there's a couple of scenes in the movie that have they never had those scenes shot when he died, so they had to obviously give him an out, end his part of the story, and so they had to CG his face for a couple of scenes, and I think that was the saddest part because it's not that it's bad CG, but it is noticeable, and
yeah, but that's with any movie.
And that was the most heartbreaking part, is because you know that he was dead when they filmed that scene, and you can kind of feel it, like the movie sort of changes gears almost. Like even the cast members, like you can almost see it in Vin's face, that like this is like he's doing it for Paul basically at that point, and it's off-putting, but they bring it together at the end of the movie, and it is actually really tasteful and really.
Yeah, they did a very good job.
So if you like Paul Walker, definitely look it up. As an actual car action movie, you can probably pass. Not fantastic. Very unrealistic, similar to the previous movies.
Yeah, but what do you think the next movies are going to be about? The what led up to the whole Fast and Furious thing, or what?
I don't really know. I mean, they've sort of touched on a lot of the things, like criminal, gangster, street racing, heists, taking down, they've sort of stepped up, like in Fast 6 and this one, they sort of stepped up beyond bank heists, so.
But what I'm thinking is, because I don't think they're going to get rid of Diesel or anything like that, so what I think they're going to do is pretty much the events that led to the first movie, pretty much. Like, how did Dom get his place, and how to,
Well, like a prequel?
Yeah.
I don't think they can do that.
No?
Have you seen how much older he looks? They made the first one 15 years ago. I don't think they can go to a prequel now.
I guess.
Yeah, it's just... Oh, Dave down the inside of the Parabolica. Oh, wait, no, that's me. Never mind. I'm on the inside of the Parabolica into the hairpin.
Oh, wait.
Dave running wide for the... Well, I wasn't paying attention. Yeah, Dave tried to do the undercut there, but did not have the space. And like that, I just slapped you in the face as I drove by there. Taking the inside of the corner, and Dave now looking through the Mercedes grandstand bend. Out onto the curb, lost a little traction off the exit. A little wide there. The curbs are something you really got to stay away from when it's wet, because they're ridiculously slippery.
Slippery.
Any paint or any like curb surfaces, you're running a risk, especially in these games, because these curbs are really unpredictable. Some of them, when you if you hang a wheel out over the back of the curb, you can see like where it's next to the track, or where it's closer to the grass or the runoff area. Some of those sort of have like a wall, and the collision detection is really bad there. So sometimes if you hang your wheel out over it, you can't turn off of it again. It just like basically holds your car on the outside of the track. There's one that's in Spa. We'll probably see the results of that later as this series progresses. When we get to Spa, which is after Hungary. So after the next race we'll be there. But it can destroy your race because you'll hang a wheel out over it and then you just spin because you can't turn. And it's a really long left-hander. So it's not something you can really recover from.
No.
And Dave, looking to sell me a dummy there down the outside, but then jumps to the inside. And once again, I give Dave the undercut, but was just not able.
The bid bought the dummy.
Well, I had to cover the racing line, but
you bought the dummy.
Then you stole the inside. So now I'm on the inside, but do not have the space to go for it. Dave's covering off the racing line and running a little wide there on exit. And just looking for a way past now. And getting into the invisible. I have no idea where I am there. Really difficult to see your braking point with all that spray. It literally blurs out the entire screen. Dave on the outside, which would be called the karting line, and is actually a wiser racing line in the wet because all race weekend, especially this particular one, you lay the rubber down. And Friday practice, you lay rubber down, and it's what they call rubbering in. And believe it or not, again with the spray, no idea where the braking point is, so I had to dive out there off the racing line. Dave getting a sizable advantage.
Yeah, because you're thinking about your rubbers
spinning
over there.
Yep, absolutely. But yeah,
gotta rubber it up.
The rubber gets embedded into the asphalt, and it actually works in this game.
Yeah, that's what she said.
Geez, sound a bit more excited, why don't you? And so during qualifying and all that, during a dry weekend, that area becomes more and more grippy. So on a race on Sunday, you heat up the rubber on the track and you heat up the rubber on your tires, and you create like a basically double-sided tape. But when it rains on Sunday, that rubber then becomes like a slip and slide. So what used to be the racing line then becomes not optimal because it's really difficult to get your traction off of out of a corner. Especially going into a corner, you'll end up spinning a lot. So usually you try to stay wide on entry to corners and stay towards the water.
You do that anyway.
Yeah, you can sort of get away with it in this game, but I think you can get better traction off the karting line. So I'll see through the tip of the penis here, off wide. And Dave kicking out a little bit there. In lap 29 now, so we got 6 laps left. It'll be 5 in a minute. And coming down the back main straight. Across the line.
What do you think of GTA PC?
Yeah, GTA PC came out on Tuesday. Actually, it came out on Monday night. To many people's surprise.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that.
I'm pretty blown away with it. I mean, I'll admit I've had some performance issues. I have a NVIDIA GTX Titan Black, which if you're not up on graphics cards, well, I need to set the stage here to make my point in that it's a beefy card. It cost me an embarrassing amount of money.
You don't want to know how much it costs.
Well, the reason I bought that particular card is because it has 7 gigs of video RAM, which
is useful for GTA.
Which I can overclock to 8 gigs. Oh, they on the inside of the Mercedes grandstand, not able to make a move stick. Anyway, yeah, so the game, I can't max the game on that card. It's a very impressive card if you're not familiar with graphics cards or PCs. It's not the latest anymore. There's a new Titan Z or Titan X, whatever, and people running SLI configurations and all that. But I can max most games. Like Arma 3, I can max that. Or
wait, do you get the Titan Black or just the Titan?
Titan Black. And no, it's not black. So it's weird that graphics card, which I purchased last year, is now obsolete essentially. And
oh shit! The graphics card I purchased 3 years ago is now pretty much fucking generic graphics card.
And this game is incredibly demanding. I'm using most graphics cards do not have that much video RAM.
I have 2.
I'm using 4.5 to 5 gigs of video RAM, just playing GTA 5, which brings my Titan to its knees to try and max the settings, and I still can't max out the settings. And I've basically had to submit to a 40 to 55 FPS result on, running at 1080 on full screen.
Yeah, mine's running at 16:9 windowed, and I of course have the NVIDIA GTX 660.
What
which
resolution?
Is far huh?
What resolution?
720, I think, or no?
720.
No, I think it's still 1080.
Well, how can you run 1080 at if it's Windows?
I mean, what do you mean resolution? I'm running at 16:9 window.
That's the aspect ratio.
900.
What's the actual resolution?
Oh, 16:9.
1600 by 900.
Yes.
Okay. Well, when you say 16:9, that's an aspect ratio.
Yeah,
Right up
not
Dave's
bad.
anus.
Yeah.
Lap 32.
But yeah, I mean, my card is considerably
Well,
less.
don't say
compared to-
1910. That just sounds stupid. Say 1600 by 900.
Yeah, my bad then. Apologize.
Anyway,
But
yeah.
yeah,
So
but
how come you don't
your
run it
cards
at full screen 1080?
Yeah, I don't really like playing games with full screen, but
Why? Because your graphics card's overheat and you're afraid you're gonna kill it.
no, I just like being able to click outside of the window if
Unless
I
you
have
get two
to.
monitors. Then.
Yeah, I'm working on that. But I can't run
Straight
it
down the back here. Look at this.
on Max,
Neck and neck.
but I can run it still better than next-gen consoles. And nice. And
Right down the
back.
inside. Was that an undercut? Dave pulling away just a little bit. Definitely getting the car length off me now through the fast right-hander through the Mercedes grandstand. And down the inside,
And
Dave.
you got to turn up
Dave
that.
running a little wide, but also I got a little bit of wheel spin. Dave has the racing line in through this corner. Mobile 1 or whatever the hell it's called. No, actually Mobile 1 is up here. And again, you can't, no braking point reference whatsoever. I had to brake a little early there. And of course that red flashing light, Hulkenberg getting ahead. The flashing red light does not mean he's braking. It means his engine is in recovery mode. So you cannot tell when he's on the brakes. And I really didn't want to fly into the back of Dave at this
Isn't
point.
the red light always on when it's wet, though?
In the wet, yes. You are correct in that. It's so that you can see the light through the spray. But in
But what does recovery mode mean?
basically, it means the engine is not running at full capacity and is currently charging the batteries. And it charges the batteries through braking, through the braking phase. So when you brake, it creates heat, and then that heat
Like a Prius.
charges, yeah, basically, except much more advanced and not stupid. Little
Like a McLaren P1.
yes, and a LaFerrari.
There you go. Yeah. Or a 918.
Or 918, yeah. Down the parabolica here, Dave.
But not a Bugatti.
Bugolini, Dave, of course, meaning a Bugatti.
Which is no longer
Know
being
what that
made.
means.
Well, Bugatti, yes. Veyron, no.
Yeah, they don't make the Bugolini anymore. Through the fast right-hander. Which is
The Bugolini Veyron.
turn 675 here. Through turn 697.
Is that really what it is?
There were 45 turns in between there that we missed, so sorry for that. Into sector 3. And, oh,
What the?
Dave hit pause or something. Car invisible.
Oh, no, no.
me
My
driving
controller
past.
decided to take a shit.
All right, Dave is definitely, what is this? What's going on here? Okay, windowed mode. All right, that's catastrophic. Dave's losing multiple places there. He's down in 7th.
Hey,
8th
where's
now.
my window?
Yep, there's your
There's
window.
my desktop.
With your cursor
Hey,
right
like
in
my
the middle.
desktop.
Back on board.
I like
with me.
how, if you look at my screen too, the whatchamacallit, the window's not even selected. It's white.
Yep. All right. Back to Dave's
It's
desktop.
not even selected. There's my mouse.
Yeah.
Right in the middle of the damn
What's
screen.
Axwell on my way?
A song.
Oh. Which you acquired legally, of course.
Yes.
Yep.
I bought that from Microsoft Store. How about that?
Okay. And down. So Dave's race has basically been demolished. I don't know what happened there. What happened?
What happened was, driving. The game paused.
Now everyone's gonna know my name. Up in the top
Huh?
right there, you can see my Skype. Everyone's gonna know my name now.
Everybody already knew your name.
What's your Audi thing? What is that? Also,
Uh,
why are
for-
your icons the most fucking tiniest things in the universe?
Well, I don't need massive icons.
No, but it'd be nice if you could see what the frigging picture is of the thing you're using.
I already know what it is. I don't need to see what the picture is if I know what it is.
So why don't you just
Who else
get
is
rid
on my
of it?
computer to figure out what that is?
So you can see the frigging picture.
I don't need to see a picture. It's just there so I can save it if I ever need to call, figure out what's going on with the order.
No, but even on your start bar on the bottom, you got like 1 pixel.
Yeah, I can see what those pictures are.
All right. Well, coming through the last corner now. Dave down in 47,000th place. And letting off the gas a little there, because who knows what would have happened if Dave decided to not press pause.
But yes, what happened was it paused. I unpaused it for a second. Then it paused it back without me touching anything. The
Yeah.
game didn't do anything at all. Like I could press all the buttons on the controller or the keyboard, the game wouldn't do anything. Switched to windowed, and then I was able to do control the game again for
Alright.
whatever reason.
Well, that's how that race ends. I was gonna say Alfonso, Fernando Alonso with a 10-second penalty for some reason, probably for hitting you earlier in the race.
Where did
And
Maldonado
Dave once
finish?
again, not able to turn that lead, that valiant effort of a race, into a victory. And so
But
Dave
we've come to
losing
a
his
conclusion though. If my game didn't fuck up, I would have won.
maybe, we don't know. Maybe I would have
Maybe.
overtaken you on the next lap.
Maybe.
But Dave losing his position in the standings to Sebastian Vettel by 2 points. And of course,
Yeah.
that brings the end of that. But we will see you next time in Hungary, where Dave will once again try to mount an assault and see if he can turn.
Yeah,
Something
moments
into a
like
victory.
this was where I wish we recorded our damn race in Bahrain. Was it
Bahrain,
Bahrain?
Yeah, it was Bahrain. Well,
Yeah.
you'll just have to do it next time.
Yeah.
That's all you got to do.
Yeah, we do it in Monza. We'll definitely do it in Monza.
Oh yeah.
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 I think
Well,
so.
Those are the standings, and that was the race. So, thank you everyone for watching. There's a close-up of my helmet. Look how awesome that is. Look at that.
Yeah, good job with
Cool
that.
ass helmet. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for watching, everybody, and enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Goodbye, everybody.